and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Sorry for the delay, but we've been super busy with other things.
In this video, we're going to be running through some analysis. Ryan's going to be talking about XRP, GBP, and then I'm going to be talking about AUD USD.
But before we get into that, make sure you like, comment and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any content.
So let's get into it.
Guys, right, I'll be explaining XRP, Great British Pound. This is one of our favorite cryptos that we love to trade and hold for the long term. So we're going to be breaking down each step of how the market's moved in order to get where we are now, to then look for that further continuation to the upside. So yes, draw attention over to the chart and then we're able to break it down from there. So as you can see on the chart, this is on the daily, we can start to draw in our sort of key levels. And around the 60p mark, as you see here, price made an area of resistance. We broke above it and we came back and used it as support. So this is just a great example where we can tell that the buyers are in control, where they're breaking above a strong area of resistance in the market, coming back and retesting it, and then seeing that further push. So right now we can easily say that the buyers are stepping into the market. So from this impulsive move here, we are buyer, so let's try to look out for some sort of chart patterns that can help us identify where to get in, how to get in, and the next move forward. So as you can see here, where that resistance was, if I can quickly draw it back in here, around the 60p mark, you can see when we start getting this big push to the upside, that was our big impulsive move to the upside, and that's only the start. So that's one big impulsive move. Now, after impulsive move, what we normally see is a correction. And right now on the chart, I can see a perfect correction forming here. And this is a bullish pennant. So if I do from the high there, connect those. And then from the low here, boom, if I draw something in like that, you can see that we are squeezing within this pennant pattern on the chart. Something along those lines there. And now what this does, what it's telling us is that price is squeezing, accumulating, ready for the next big push to the upside. Now, as you can see, if I can just get my drawing tool, price is making higher highs, it's then making higher lows. But see how price fell to make a higher high and it actually made a lower high, but then price is still making higher lows. As you can see here, it's not actually breaking market structure, I'm breaking the previous higher low. It's still making high lows in the market. And what this forms is this pennant pattern where we're squeezing in, prices gathering all the orders into one bit for the next explosion to the upside. Now, how do you normally trade the pennant pattern? I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very simple and it's very, very easy. So what we try to look out for is a break of structure. So what we need price to do is price needs to break out of this impulsively to the upside. So impulsive push to the upside. Once that happens, we then get a clear break of structure. We then break the lower high in the market, creating a new high in the market, and indicating another bullish trend back to start. So what we need to see is price correctively pull back into these type of regions at retest sort of level. And this could be area of resistance previously, area of supply, etc., turn demand. From this level, we can then see a retest of this level potentially into this high low here, and lower high, or even potentially this lower high here. Once we come into that level, we can then look for that push to the upside. As you can see here, if I can draw that in across there, something along those lines where we're going to get a nice break and retest of this pennant pattern. Now, if I can just draw in the length of this first impulsive move, you can see it's something along around here. So this is the length of that first impulsive move. If I can drag that and push it up here, so boom, like I was saying, when price comes to here and we get that in continuation to the upside, we can gather from the first impulsive move, we might get something very similar. And that's the case, we're going to break all-time highs, breaking this level across here, which was around, if I put that to there on the top, 1.43 on the Binance chart. So once we get that impulsive move to the upside, we'll create all-time highs for this pair and should easily see it hit the £2 mark. I can see XRP going a lot further in the future, but for short-term sort of targets, if you want to trade this, £2 would be a perfect target to be looking out for, because as you know, institution banks, they like those round numbers to target for. So yeah, once again, this is XRP. We're currently in a bullish pennant, waiting for a breakout, waiting for a retest of that to then look for continuation to the upside. And then, yeah, it'll be very, very nice from there.
Right, guys. So I'm going to be talking about AUD USD, talking about the market structure, doing top-down analysis from the weekly time frame all the way down to the 1 hour, looking at our positions. So the first thing we want to identify is where is price heading in the long term, understanding where these big players are involved and just where the market is going on the longer term, really. And we want to be looking to follow that trend. We don't really want to be going against the higher time frame trend. So looking at this weekly chart, as you can see here, price was clearly downtrending for a while. We were downtrending for a while, making these corrections to the upside, but then just continuing to the downside. However, ever since March, April 2020, we did see price completely reverse on the higher time frames, and we started to see a more impulsive movement to the upside. All it looks like we've done is we really impulsed to the downside and then we really impulsed to the upside. So clearly there were some orders down here which needed to be filled before we start to see this upside movement. But yeah, so from a weekly standpoint, from a higher time frame standpoint, we're definitely moving upwards. In terms of where it looks like price is heading into, we can see previously price has wicked this level, but when I'm looking at structure, it doesn't look like it's wicked like a significant level in the market. It's just potentially something to trick sellers into the game and potentially trick people into thinking that this market is heading down. However, looking at this time frame, it does look like we need to head into the this level up here of 0.81, where we can see a strong level of resistance in the market, a psychological resistance level. So these higher time frame players who are looking at taking buy positions in this market, they're looking at targeting this 0.81 level, in my opinion. Let's take a look now on the daily time frame. We'll look at the market structure and break down and just see what's basically going on. So previously, as you can see, we obviously we're uptrending on the higher time frames, but obviously there's going to be times on the lower time frames where sellers are in control, and we want to be looking at these lower time frames to see when that shift is taking place. Now, I'm going to highlight something that's going on. So up here, this is the spike that it made on the weekly time frame, if you remember. So ever since then, there were some selling opportunities going on where we were making these lower lows and lower highs, as you can see here. We were making that and we were forming corrections. But as you can see, this market structure here, we did correct. What should have happened is we should have seen a continuation to the downside there. However, as you can see, the higher time frame market structure did step in. We did just reject this support level in the market, and we did just continue with the higher time frame overall bullish market structure that we did see on the weekly time frame. So like I was saying, so although we were uptrending, you might be able to catch some sell positions, but in the longer term, the buying positions are what you're going to be able to capitalize more on, as you can see here. So if I draw in just a trend line to visualize what happened, so we did break out of this. You can see we were downtrending, and then this big impulsive move here. If I just zoom in to make this a lot clearer for you guys, this candle here is really what switched the market from bearish to bullish. Buyers stepped into the market, and then ever since we've just been bullish. However, what's recently been happening ever since this impulsive move, we've really been trading sideways. So what we were doing is, right, so as I was saying, price was struggling to make new higher highs in the market. As I'll draw in a zone through here, through this resistance. What we can see going on here, let me just make this a little bit tighter, a little bit more precise. Get the pencil out. So we formed this level in the market here. This is a level of significance where we've got a touch there. We've got a touch here. We've got a touch here. And we've got a touch here. So what all this is saying to us is price is still uptrending. Sorry, we are still uptrending. However, we're struggling to get through this level. So there are sellers interested at this level. And in order for us to actually start looking for buy positions to take price higher, we want to see this level violated. And that's now what we've had. We have seen this level violated. We've seen this this level here broken. Now, in some people's eyes, it might be a false breakout, and it pretty much was a false breakout, but I still believe price is going to continue pushing higher. And the reason being, if I just delete some of this, if I jump back up to the weekly time frame, you can see how that weekly candle closed. Previously, we were forming doji candles with wick rejections to the upside, as you can see here, wick rejections. Here we formed this tweezer top almost, rejecting that level that we saw earlier. However, that big weekly candle there, that bullish engulfing, does tell us at the higher time frames we are looking to go long now. We are looking to push higher, especially how last week's candle as well ended with a wick rejection to the downside. So previously we were showing wick rejections to the upside, but now we're showing wick rejections to the downside, and we're forming these bullish engulfing candles. So you can kind of see how it does look like we are starting to shift. So yeah, what has actually happened now ever since we've broken out of there? Let's jump down to the lower time frames now, the 4 hour. As you can see, we did form this higher high. And all we've done is we've come down to retest this level of support in the market through here. So this level of support, as you can see, we have come down to retest, and we have now pushed away from here. So let's jump down to the 1 hour actually, because there's not really much more to show on that. So with this 1 hour time frame, what has been going on? So we were downtrending, as you can see, with the phases of the market. We were forming, let's do this. We were forming bearish impulses, bullish corrections, bearish impulses, bullish corrections, bearish impulses. And then we were just moving sideways. From here, we were just moving sideways. And then we basically just saw the market structure shift. If I even jump down to even lower time frame, let's say the 15-minute, from like just my eye point of view here, I can tell that that's an inverse head and shoulders. If I just jump down to the 15, we can see here that this market structure has shifted. So we could say easily that this side of the market here is the left shoulder. We impulsed to the downside, we made the head, we then impulsed up, and then we formed this side here, which is the right shoulder. And now all we've done is broken through a level of resistance in the market. So if I was to look here, through here, we do have this level of resistance, which we can say is the neckline of the head and shoulders. Jump back up to the 1 hour. We've broken through that. Now, any textbook would tell you, okay, let's look for the break and retest of the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders. So there would be a lot of people buying the market here. But you got to understand, you got to look at price more deeper. You got to understand where buyers are stepping in from. And that's what we look at, is we don't just say, okay, break of resistance to break of support, because there might be a specific area in the market that where price needs to come down to for where buyers have previously stepped into. And that's what I believe has happened with this market. If I drop down again to the 15-minute time frame, you can see here that this is the level of resistance we've broken through, and there's going to be a lot of people who are buying the market at this level here where it's retested. But we've got to understand that below this level here, there is this level of support, this level of support here, this level of support here, where buyers have actually stepped into the market and drove price higher, which is why price actually dipped into this level, because there is a level of interest here from buyers, and that's what we dipped into. We dipped into that level, and now we can see prices actually impulse away from here. So that's all we needed to do. Prices now impulsed away from here, and now we can begin to potentially look for our buy positions. Another thing as well that I spotted is some people might use this, some people don't. There's a bit of a controversy against trend lines, but if we were to draw it in just to visually understand the shift in this market structure, we could join up here, pull it all the way back down to here, and we could say potentially we've broken out of the trend line, we've corrected. Look at this market structure here. We impulsed, bearish correction, retesting the trend line, retesting the area of support in the market. We could now say to take this market long, at least potentially up to this high point, or even further with our long-term targets up to that 0.81, I believe it was. So yeah, this is our analysis for AUD USD, looking for that longer term buy position, looking for our buy positions, going with the overall trend. And yeah, that is how we would break it down. So yeah, that's AUD USD.